Hey guys, I'm Silvolf and I didn't really know what to do for this video, so I thought I'd show you another plush that I've made. I like to make merchandise when there is no merchandise. So this character is Bradley Uppercross III from Extremely Goofy Movie, which was a film that came out in 2000. This is Bradley from the film. You can see him there. In case you don't know what he looks like. So basically the film was to tie off the animated series Goof Troop, and I believe Goof Troop started with the original Goofy movie. An Extremely Goofy Movie was a direct-to-video release. They didn't release it in the cinemas, and there was no merchandise for it other than DVDs and videos, of course, a keyring, and McDonald's toys, which were each of the main characters in plastic form. I believe there was 8 of them, one of whom was Bradley, very badly painted, with a pair of roller skates on, which I bought this, and since it was so badly painted I did repaint it, but I don't have that in this video, so I could do a video about it, but I haven't. So I decided to make a plush of Bradley because he's my favourite, and it was kind of a film that my boyfriend and I got into randomly last year. We were browsing around on Disney Plus and, oh, I don't think we've seen this one. He thinks he may have seen it, and I think I may have seen it. I'm not entirely sure, because I wasn't really into stuff like that back then. In the year 2000, I was too busy. I was going into sixth form college and stuff like that, and I didn't, I wasn't thinking about it. I was more obsessed with Pokemon at the time, put it that way. So we ended up finding it on Disney Plus, and we tried to watch it, but it wouldn't load. And then when we finally did watch it, a couple of weeks later, we watched half of it, and it decided to break down halfway through, or we decided to watch it the following day because it had gotten a bit late. So it took us a while to actually get round to watching it. Since then we have watched it we must have watched it like 50 times. Between last summer and this year. I mean, this year alone we've seen it 5 times, and we're only in February because it's a fun movie and we like to riff on it and make fun of stuff in a good-natured way occasionally, and change the script to be silly and or rude, etc., and do the characters' voices, and it's just a silly thing that we share together. So last year I thought, you know what, I'll make a plush of Bradley. So that's what I did. Now obviously there have been Goofy plushies and things like that. Even if there were plushies from this film, it's doubtful that Bradley would have been one, because he's not really popular. He's supposed to be the main bad guy, and he is a vain, sort of full of himself, thinks he's a self-proclaimed champion of the X Games, which is a sporting event in the college, and he's got a load of lackeys that hang around with him. The nice thing about him is that he is a sort of a boss character, but he doesn't make his lackeys do all the work. He actually gets in there and he's willing to beat the metaphorical crap out of you to get his own way, or to win, or whatever, or cheat to win, or do what it takes to win. So he's not really a very nice character. But I always go for the villains. I find them very interesting, and I also find they're normally a little bit more complicated and complex than just the hero characters. So everything they do is good. And there's nothing wrong with liking hero characters. I do like some of the hero characters. Out of this film, I like pretty much all the characters. They're all nice in their own way. I like Max, PJ and Bobby. Bobby's probably my favourite because I heavily relate to him and his randomness. And I like Goofy, of course, and Miss Marple and the rest. But Bradley's my favourite because he's just a massive douche. He really is. So here's the plush. Now I based it on the pattern that I've made other sort of plush dolls and things from before. He's made from felt. His outfit is fleece for his trousers and everything. I've made my Kurt's plush a little bit in this sort of similar pattern as well. I tried some new things with Bradley, so like for example his shoes and that aren't the normal shoes that come with the pattern for these plush dolls. I actually downloaded the pattern. It was a free to use pattern. I got it some years ago off DeviantArt, and the shoes I felt weren't really appropriate for his sneakers, so I thought I'd just make my own little pattern for those and do them instead. They've even got the design, which I based on Converse, underneath him, on the soles, and they are weighted with plastic pellets. I've also got plastic pellets in his belly as well to give him more kind of weight, so he's a little bit floppy and he can sit down. He's not very good at standing up, but he sits on my computer chair most of the time. The face I actually painted with acrylic paints, and it doesn't give very much room for mistakes, so if I'd have messed it up completely you would have seen the lines, because I kind of sketched the face in very, very lightly with a biro to sort of get the placement of his eyes and stuff. If I'd have got that wrong, then he would have had, like, you could see the faint lines all over his face. Luckily, I'm quite good at doing things like that, sort of straight off without making mistakes. So he's got his face painted on with acrylic paints. His nose is a bit of felt. And then his hair is very much fluffier than his actual hair in the series, but this was the closest kind of faux fur I could get to it. So he looks a bit like he's got, you know, Chucky from Child's Play. A little bit of a Chucky hairstyle going on here. And he's got his ears sticking out there. Again, they were a new pattern thing I had to do, because the people in the Extremely Goofy movie and all the Goofy franchise are supposed to be dog people. So they've got like doggy faces and human bodies. I did some sort of detail for his shirt and stuff under there, you can see as well. And his hands have been I sewed his fingers and stuff in just to give, so you could see where his fingers are. And I'm really, really happy with him. I mean, he took a couple of days to make, but I did have to order the sort of maroon colour material and the pale blue material, so and also his hair, from my supplier online. So it took a little bit longer to make than I hoped. And my supplier has actually lately got really tardy with sending stuff out as well. They used to send it like next day, but I guess they've got like loads more business or something, and it takes them a bit longer to send stuff out. But the most fun thing about this whole plush that I have made is that Bradley is voiced by a guy called Jeff Bennett. You might know him as voicing Brooklyn from Gargoyles. Johnny Bravo, he voiced, I think, Curious George, and one of the penguins from Madagascar. He does the voice for Bradley and several other characters in the film. And so I got in touch with Jeff on a thing called Cameo, and I actually showed him this doll that I've made of Bradley, and he sent me a message, because you can this is something you can do online. You can like pay people to send you messages from the characters they voice, and he sent me this amazing message as Bradley, like sort of like saying how good the doll was and how much he loved it and everything like that. And I think that Jeff was probably quite impressed himself, because it kind of came across like that. So the only reason I did it, literally, other than actually, you know, wanting a personal message from Bradley, because that's amazing, was I really wanted to show Jeff what I'd done, because I'm so proud of it. And I just, you know, it's nice to do fan art and stuff for people, and show the actors or voice actors who do these characters. But he's on any social media, so that was the only way I could contact him. But he really liked it, so yeah, I'm really happy about that. And it just made me more proud of my work. As an artist, we're always our own biggest critics, and I'm very critical of my stuff. But it doesn't hurt to be proud sometimes. You should be proud. If you've done a good job, you should be proud of it. Because you shouldn't just bash yourself all the time or say, oh, it could be better. You know, if you've done a good job, be proud of it, because that's what it's about, you know? And I'm really happy with what I did with this plush. So, there you go. If you want to see more art videos, you can click either of the boxes that come up below. As always, check out my Etsy and New Monday stores. You too could commission a plush like this from me, because I offer commissions. Or you can buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. All the tips help, because I work from home as a self-employed artist. And it's very helpful if you tip me or anything. Links are all in the description. And stay safe, stay healthy, and keep being awesome. This is Silvolf signing off.